When we gather in worship like we are tonight for Good Friday, worship is where we tell the truth. We tell the truth about God, about ourselves, about each other, about our world. Sometimes people think that worship is just an escape, but it's the exact opposite. It's where we come face to face with what is really real and true. And the truth that Good Friday tells us is that love suffers. That if you love, you will suffer. There's just no way around it. That if you love, you make yourself vulnerable. That word vulnerable, the root word of that, the Latin word, actually means to wound. So to be vulnerable means that you become woundable because of love. On Good Friday, Christians around the world, Christians for centuries, we make this a day of special devotion because this is a day like none other when we remember that the God of the universe, the Creator God, was wounded for us. He made himself vulnerable for us. And so on Good Friday, we keep vigil with Christ. We stay awake with Christ. We didn't read this part of the story, but it's a famous one of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he's asking his friends to stay awake with him in this darkest hour, to stay awake with him, to keep vigil with him, to watch with him. And tonight, we're going to move into a time of walking the stations of the cross. And this is a very ancient practice that the church has practiced for many, many centuries, a way of us keeping that vigil with Christ. And these stations, they bump up against two kind of common characteristics of modern society, which is novelty and speed. So even when we were thinking about these different stations, we thought, maybe we should make each one of them different. Maybe we should make them a little bit more interactive, and we've done that before. But we thought tonight that we would stay with the same series of images from the same artist, Allan Rohan Crite, who was a Black Episcopalian who created these beautiful stations that feature a Black Christ and his passion on the streets of the city. And these were created during the era of Jim Crow, and so it's an expression of Jesus walking with those who were suffering the most. And so as we walk with Jesus, we are slowing down. We're staying with this Jesus through this journey, and we're slowing down to each of these moments in that path that he took towards the cross. In him, we see ourselves, and we see each other. We see the world, that all of us are vulnerable. All of us are woundable. But all of us grieve and suffer in different ways. And so we walk with him. And love, it also leads us just naturally. It flows into prayer, into intercession. And so that's also something that Good Friday stands for, is a time for us to pray for ourselves, for our loved ones, for the world. So as we walk with Jesus tonight, this walking is prayer. And as you stand before each of these moments in that path to Calvary, I encourage you just to stand and let the prayer from the heart just emerge. Just let it emerge from your heart as you stand there and contemplate this image of Jesus. Sometimes it might be just standing in silence, because sometimes there really aren't any words that come to mind. And so we stand in silence before Jesus. When you walked in, you were given, or you should have been given, a little piece of paper and a pencil. And we gave that to you so that as you walk through these stations, that maybe someone comes to mind, or maybe something comes to mind, and you can write that down on that piece of paper. If you don't have one, we have paper and pencils in the back. And what we invite you to do is, at the end, we'll start the stations out in the foyer. That's where station 1 is. But that as you walk through, at the very end, after the ninth station, we invite you to come up here to the cross behind me. And there's little pins here, and you can pin your prayers, the person, the thing, the situation that's on your heart onto the cross. And what this is it's just a symbol, a visual symbol of all of our prayers, of all that we are holding, of all that the world is holding, that the cross holds that for us, that Jesus and Jesus' love holds that for us. So the first station, as I said, is in the foyer, and you can go in order, clockwise around the sanctuary, or you can weave in and out of the different stations. Like, there is freedom as we enter into this. In your bulletin, there is a meditation, and there's also reflection questions. And these are optional. It's there just to support you in our worship, in your prayer. You don't have to use them. As well as you are also welcome to sit in the pews if you would like. And so after we sing this next and last hymn, we're going to move right into these stations. There won't be any formal dismissal tonight, and you can feel free to leave whenever you are ready. And so let's stand together as we sing and as we keep vigil tonight with our friend, our brother, and our Redeemer, Jesus.